Everyone, thanks for joining. This is Patty from PS Paper Crafts. I want to show you how to make this nice masculine card. It's a Father's Day card. You can make it a happy birthday card or whatever you want. It's using the Mountain Air stamp set. On the inside I have some trees, and the real heroes of the world are fathers like you. So I thought it was a perfect Father's Day card. I know my dad, he passed away almost 2 years ago, and I have other people to send Father's Day cards to, my son and my nephew and friends. So I will be making multiple Father's Day cards. So the Mountain Air stamp set is pretty unique. It has stamps that are detailed, and then it has, you could flip over the stamp and use the back to kind of give it some background color. You could do darker or lighter, you know, the detailed dark and the background light, or vice versa, the moon. So it's pretty cool. And we're going to get started. We're going to stamp some trees and mountains, and I have my card pieces. So this is my standard card, and this is 5 1/4 across. So I have this piece cut. This is what I'm going to use to stamp and then cut, because these are all layered. So you have to stamp them and then cut them out and then layer them up. So I want to make sure that it's the right size. So this is my inside piece, and I'm stamping the trees. I'm going to actually stamp the background, the back side of the trees, and get the water look. So what I'm using is, where is that stamp head? Here it is. This is the Seaside Spray. And when I ink up a big stamp like this, I like to ink it up this way, because going this way, it's hard to, I don't know, hard to get it all inked up right. So I'm going to go across, and again, this is the back side of that stamp. Get it inked up good. And then I'm stamping off because I want a very light shade for the water. So I'm going to just get the first layer of ink off, and then I want to stamp it on this, and I don't want all of these. So I want to go down low, and this one is the deepest one, I think. So I'm keeping that in my, when I go stamp it down, I want to make sure that that is off the paper, so I don't have like a little ridge. And you can color this, or, you know, sponge it or something like that. I just thought it gave you a nice kind of ridge there. So I'm going to use my chamois to clean my stamp with, because then I want to flip it over. So I'm just going to flip it right on my block, and then I'm going to ink it up for the trees. And I'm using Pretty Peacock for the trees. Let me just close this guy up and use the Pretty Peacock. And again, I'm going to ink it up this way. I mean, you could ink it up the other way if you want. I just like to do this on big stamps. Get it all nice and inky. And then I'm going to come down so that it pretty much covers the water some, the bottom of it. And it's pretty cool. It has the tree line, and then it has some kind of land, and it goes into the water. So I like the way that looks. So this one, we're going to have to cut it out. So the dies that come with this have this tree line, so you can make sure you have it going the right way. And you can make this go high, low, however you want. So you're getting the bottom of the thing and the layer and whatever size you want for this. But before we cut that out, we're going to cut some mountains. We're going to stamp some mountains. I'm going to just flip it over because we're going to do it all on this same page. So I have the mountain stamp, and I'm going to do the first one in Smoky Slate. And if you want a lighter color, you can stamp off first. This one I did directly. So we're just going to ink that up nice. And I don't have another big block, so I'm doing this on this block kind of diagonally. So I'm just going to come toward the bottom. I want to make sure that I'm in side to side, and I'll just stamp it down. Isn't that pretty? I love it. So now we want to clean this, and we're going to do the purple, the Highland Heather, and that I did stamp off first, so we can have some Purple Mountain Majesty on the background here. So I thought that was a good color for the mountains far off in the distance. Now you could have stamped off, and you know, after you stamp this, you could have done the next one with the smoky slate and just had a lighter shade of the gray. So let's get this one going. And I love the details on this. It looks like they're snow-capped mountains. So we're just going to go off, and that's pretty as it is. And we're going to just come here and stamp it again. So that'll give us the lighter shade. Now I'm going to, you know, stop this and go over to my big shot, and I'll cut both of these out. So I'll cut 1, 2, and then with this one, I'm going to cut the tree line. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I have all my pieces cut, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just layer them behind each other, and then I'll adhere them to the card, the white layer, and then we'll put that down on the card. So let's get so I'm done with these. Let's get this glued together. So I just put a little bit of liquid glue just at the top of the trees. You could put it at the bottom of the mountains, and you could put the mountains, I like the dark in the front so that it looks like, you know, the other ones are in the distance. But if you really wanted the purple ones next, you could. And if you wanted to do the stamping direct instead of stamping off, whatever you like, play around with it and see what you like. So I wish I had my silicone mat for this, so I didn't get glue anywhere, but we're going to make do. So I'm just going to, I'm using the liquid glue. I want to make sure there's no holes down here, and I want to make sure it's not hanging over on the sides. So that looks pretty good. And then on this one, I'm actually going to just put the glue down here on the bottom. And then I'll glue the whole thing down to the layer, so we don't have to worry about anything shifting or coming off. So I want to make sure that I'm covered on each side, so I don't have any gaps. So that looks good. And you can keep going up if you wanted to make it higher. So now let's kind of lay it here. And before we adhere it, let's get our clouds in place so we don't have any problems with the clouds and find out that we messed up stamping and we have our mountains attached. So I like to stamp before I adhere things as much as possible. So I'm going to just lay those down as a guide, and I'm going to stamp the clouds in smoky slate, but I'm going to stamp it on paper first so I can get a lighter color. See how that is? You can do the dark if you wanted it to be a more dreary day. And I didn't put this down on my green because I want to make sure that I can go off the paper. It's always nice to have things go off the paper. So that looks good. And then, you know, I wanted to put the Happy Father's Day over here, but I felt like I had a hole here. So I don't think it matters. But that was just what I wanted to do. So let me get the inside, while I have the smoky slate, let me get the inside sentiment on. And I'm just going to stamp it to make sure I have it the right way. And we'll do it up here a little bit so we have room to write. And then let's do the pretty peacock for the outside sentiment and the inside tree. So what I'm going to do is just punch the circle first, because this is 3 different stamps and I want to make sure that it lines up nicely. So we'll punch the circle, and this is a 1 1/4 inch punch. I'm not sure that is even still available from Stampin' Up. You could use the layering circles. They seem to change up the circle stamps pretty often. So this is 3 stamps, and this is from the A Wish for Everything stamp set. It's two packages of stamps, and it has some nice things like Hanukkah, St. Patrick's Day, Halloween, things that I don't really have a lot of Father's Day stamps. And it actually has some inside stamps as well. That's where I got the real heroes of the world, or fathers like you. So it's a nice set to have, but it all comes in pieces. So you have to make sure you stamp everything. And you're kind of blind because they are the red rubber. So I'm going to do the happy. And if it doesn't come out right, I'll flip it over. So you really don't know how far down you're going and stuff, so you just kind of have to wing it. And I think that's good enough. So let's get our tree done. And I love these trees. I love trees, so this is right up my alley. And this is kind of the double tree in the set. You have the double and the single. And then these trees, all of them have this kind of background look. And I don't know if I went through this or not, but these trees are so pretty. They don't match a stamp, but they're very delicate. They have a lot of cutouts. You have the mountains, the tree line. These trees match this one and this one. You've got the clouds. So it's a nice die set as well. So let's put this aside. Let's punch our... Oh, I'm just trying to grab a piece of the pretty peacock. So we're going to punch this out with the 1 3/8 scallop punch. And that just goes up a little bit from the 1 1/4 inch. So it creates a really perfect background border for this. So let's put this together with the liquid glue. And then we'll put our mountain piece down, put our inside down, and we'll be almost done. I love the pretty peacock color. It's a green, but it's not like the other greens, you know, old olive and garden green. It's a little bit different, richer. So let's get this lined up to the bottom of this layer. I'm just pushing it down a little bit to line it up perfectly. Okay, and let's put this on the card base. And then we'll put the inside. Make sure your card is opening the right way. I've made that mistake before. I'm sure many of you have as well. Okay, and then we'll just put this on the inside. I really like the card. I love this set. I haven't used it as much as I thought I would, so I have to start using it again. And you know, Father's Day is right around the corner, so I was thinking masculine cards. So let's get some dimensionals on this and figure out where we want to put it. So I think I'll put 3 dimensionals here just to make sure it's nice and secure. And let's see, do we like it here? Do we like it here? I think I'm going to put this one here. What do you think? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I like it here. I think I'm going to put it there as well. Decisions. You make the whole card and then you can't figure out where to put this little sentiment label. I think that's good. Okay, you could put some birds in here as well. There's a bird. The 3 birds, you could have them flying around. I didn't want to take it too far. I like it with the clouds. But anyway, it's a really great set, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and then you can catch all my videos. All right, thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye.